Welcome to another exciting episode of Chai with KJ. Today, we have a remarkable guest joining us, Jenny Gonzalez, the dynamic co-founder and CEO of Rocahead and Trackfinity. Jenny's journey from the ground up in the affiliate marketing world has been nothing short of inspiring. She's a powerhouse in online marketing, known for her relentless drive, strategic insight, and ability to build strong, trust-based relationships. In this episode, we'll dive into her career, the challenges she's faced, and her vision for the future of digital marketing. Grab your chai and get ready for an enlightening conversation with Jenny Gonzalez.
So we have Trackfinity founder Jenny Gonzalez with us. Hi, Jenny. How are you?
Hi, KJ. I am so excited to be here with you.
Awesome. Yeah, and I'm excited too. And one of the reason is like in our industry, we don't see that many, like let's say, female, founders or leaders. I don't know why our industry is like really male dominant. So yeah,
It's very
yeah. So it's always excited to see some yeah ladies doing some amazing work, and especially because like there are tons of female, like let's say, employees and everything, but not
yes.
many of them are leading the companies and stuff. So first of all, congratulations for launching
Trackfinity, yes, I
Trackfinity.
am super
Yeah.
excited. We are launching our beta today, and this is like pretty much the culmination of being a baby affiliate manager, working my way up the ranks, teaching myself everything, and now I get to be a co-founder of a SaaS company for the industry, which is insane.
Awesome. Yeah, and it must be like really hard as well, because I was involved in a SaaS product previously in a project, and one thing I noticed is these kind of projects are super hard to manage, and like it's really hard work. But yeah, before we get into that, first of all,
Yes.
let's start with your intro. Now, tell me a little bit about yourself. Who is Jenny?
Jenny. I was originally born in Venezuela from immigrant parents. My dad is from Spain and he went there because of the dictatorship back in the day. So he's like more Venezuelan than anybody else. But technically, Spanish family moved to Venezuela. I was born when I was 16, going on 17. We usually do this year to learn English, and I went to
Hmm.
the States to learn English. I was coming back to do my college and whatever, and I just didn't come back. The situation in my country was a little spicy
Yeah.
back then, and it got like a little much. And I was like, let me stay out for a minute to see what happens. And that minute turned into the rest of my life. I moved to Spain in 2006. Ooh, a minute ago. And that's where eventually I ended up getting a job in the industry as a super junior account manager. I didn't even know. I think I was like one of the first people to ever get LinkedIn. It was launching LinkedIn. And I was like teaching myself how to use it. I remember I had a Facebook account, but I had never used it. I had a high five back in the day, but not much of a technical person at all. So I
Right.
started as a baby account manager and moved my way up the ranks in the next 10 years. Worked every position you can imagine, all the way to CEO. Managed a few companies as CEO for a few years before I really took the plunge and opened my own business. So I started running an
Oh,
affiliate network, and today I launched my SaaS platform.
amazing. So before we move on, one question: like, did they have Facebook in Venezuela?
What was that?
Because that did they have Facebook in Venezuela as well?
We had
Or
internet.
you
No,
moved
we had
way
we had
before that?
internet, but I moved away in 2000. So
Right, right.
it
Okay,
was
that's way before
way
that.
before. Like we had a computer. I had a computer growing up. I think it was like a 5 or 6 digit ICQ. But I remember
Right.
you could see literally what the other person was typing as they were typing it. There was none of
Yeah,
that. Like,
that
I
ICQ.
missed that.
You reminded you reminded me that, like, yeah, every network used to ask, like, what's your ICQ?
Yes.
Yeah, good old
Like that
times.
is as far as
Yeah.
like the internet had gotten. Then there was like AOL Messenger when I moved to the States. And then we went to Yahoo Messenger and eventually MSN. That's
Yeah.
how old I am.
Do you remember that?
I remember all of that because I remember in college, because I was an international student, I was not allowed to work outside of the school. And to help pay for my studies, I used to work in the IT department, like in the library, because you had to go somewhere to get connected, right? We didn't have smartphones.
Yeah.
Everyone had to go to the library to check their email, to do whatever. So I
Right.
was in charge of the computer
Nice,
lab.
boss. So you were boss from the earlier days. Yeah. Do you remember those days when you had to literally ping on MSN Messenger and it used to literally vibrate? Like,
Hook people.
yeah,
That was
yeah, nice.
like
So
beginning of Facebook.
good old times. Yeah. So how did you like get into? Where did you find this job? Or like you were just looking for a job and you ended up landing in the same.
Honestly, I
Was it
moved
network?
to, no, it wasn't. At the time, I literally, none of this makes sense. I was in Spain. I used to be a bartender, got a mean hernia on my spinal cord, so I couldn't bartend anymore. I needed an office job. And the one thing that I had going for me, because in Spain, people study a lot. And
Mm.
like everyone was like overqualified. Like people looking for a receptionist job will have like 2 masters. And I was like, okay. And at that point, I was just a college dropout that had very good English. So I
Right.
was like, okay. So I got a job as. So I get to Spain, not qualified for a lot because I was not super qualified, but everybody else was really qualified.
Yeah.
And all I had was my passport and my English. But at the time, not many people spoke English, like good English in Spain. And this guy from San Francisco, he was the CEO. He was like a newly appointed CEO to a media company in Barcelona. And he was like, I need someone to translate my life here because he was living 2 weeks
Mm.
in Spain, 2 weeks in the States. So I was doing this Barcelona San Francisco connection, but in that company, there was an affiliate program, which at the time I
Right.
didn't know what an affiliate program was. All I knew is that this kid that was younger than I was young, but he was really young. All he did was like travel. He was this like mysterious entity. Nobody understood what he did, but everyone respected him. And I was like, what does this guy do? Um, and I was like, oh, he's the affiliate manager. And I was like, okay. I don't know what an affiliate manager does, but it sounds pretty sweet. Because at the time I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. And I'm looking at the lawyers, I'm looking at like everybody else in the company, even the marketing managers. I was like, okay. But I didn't know my calling, right? I was like drifting. And I saw this guy, I was like, I don't know what this guy does, but that's a pretty sweet job. And I started
Mm.
like researching, which back then, we're talking 2009. Back then, there was not a lot of information out there, not as much as we have today. So I started researching. I did every Google certificate that you could do at the time because I
Wow.
was the closest to be like, okay, how does the internet work? Because I was at that level of not knowing
Yeah.
how does the internet work. And I did the certificates and like pretty much anything. I would offer myself to help with anything that had to do with affiliate marketing. And a girl that was managing the mobile program at the time had to go on maternity leave. And I was like, they couldn't find someone because it was such a short period, right? It was
Yeah.
maternity leave, but then she would be back. And I think it was something like 6 months or something like that. Nobody wanted to get into a new job to leave 6 months after. However, if you don't know what you're doing. I was like, I'll do it for my same little salary. And pretty much that's what they took me on. I was not qualified, but I was willing and I was available and cheap, like trifecta. And her position had like 10% of affiliate marketing in it. And I
Hmm.
did the other 90 just to be exposed to that 10%, to understand how the tracking worked,
Wow.
how understand everything. Most of like my career, what's helped me the most is that being willing to do more, not necessarily for the right money at the time, but just to learn. Um, and I did that. I went to my first conference with that. And in that same conference, I got offered an actual affiliate marketing job by Americans that wanted to come
Nice.
into Europe with their product. So
Yeah.
again, my level of English, but my European citizenship, boom. It was like the right combination at the right time for the right price. So I started running this affiliate program, and like little by little, every job, like every 2 years or so, I would try to have a promotion either internally or laterally. I would get like a slightly better job. And like that, within 10 years, I worked my way up the ladder.
Nice. That's like really inspirational story, actually. And the biggest lesson here is that it's all about experience. It's all about being able to learn new things and your willingness to learn new things. Now let's talk about like affiliate marketing today. Like, do you think like is it you can make more money today, or those days are gone when you could make way more money with affiliate marketing?
No, you can still make lots of money. The biggest difference that I see today, before, if you were an affiliate, you were just an affiliate. If you're an advertiser, you were just an advertiser. And now all the lines are blurred. So you have an affiliate that created their own pre-lander and they're doing better than the advertiser. So he becomes kind of an advertiser. And like people are getting really, really creative. And the same person that is an affiliate can be running a network, but at the same time can also be like a semi advertiser. So everyone is wearing many different hats, but money is being made for sure.
Hmm. Awesome, awesome. I guess it's important now that it's those times when it was just one solo affiliate. Those days are gone, I think. And affiliates are turning into more and more of agencies and bigger and bigger teams. That makes sense. Okay, so now Trackfinity. How did like what happened there? How did you come up with this idea? I mean, like there's so much work behind the scenes,
But
and
this is
I'm just trying to,
okay.
yeah.
So it's a good story. I think it's also a very inspirational story. So in 2013, 2012, 2013, as I'm moving up my way up the ladder, an opportunity came up to start an affiliate program from scratch.
Hmm.
And at the time, I was absolutely not qualified. I absolutely did not have the right knowledge, but I was more willing and more passionate than anybody else. So I think at the time there was like 14 candidates, 13 guys and I. And it was a brutal selection process. Like they made us pitch our whole first 2 year plan for the program before you even got the job. So you had to like do all these presentations. It was like rough, but I got the job. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to have to learn a lot of technical stuff that I absolutely don't
Yeah.
know. And I found a great team. Um, at the time, like an outsourced team, but the help, they were so patient. So they have been in tracking forever. And they were so patient with
Mm.
me. They pretty much guided me the right ways. Like, yes, you need to learn, but this is what you need to learn. So at least I had like a way of what I needed to investigate. I had to teach myself how to HTML my own emails because I was an affiliate program of one person. So I was the marketing manager, I was the designer,
Yeah.
I was everything. And I had such a good experience with them because, of course, I was forced to be this one person every time I needed a feature to make my life easier, because this program needed to pay for itself. I had no resources. That's also how I started speaking publicly. So I could market with no resources.
Yeah.
I couldn't hire someone until the program was making enough money to pay for that person. So at the
Yeah.
beginning, it was just me, myself, and I. And it was amazing because every time I was like, oh, if I had this feature, I would save this much time. If I did this, like I could do this sort of deal. And we started developing new features and like coming up with this amazing backend. And it turns out that after that job, I've started at least 2 or 3 other affiliate programs, and I've always used the same team. In 2019, when it was time to open my own company, my own affiliate network, of course, this was the people that I went to. And because honestly, they're so good. They are so good at what they do. And like, they're some of the smartest people I know. And now it's been 4 years of running my own affiliate network with them. And we're like, okay, what if we offer this to the rest of the world? So about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago, we're like, okay, now this needs to be customizable. This needs to look pretty. It's super robust, but it's so complicated that we have to make it easy to understand. We have to make it like usable. And of course, I come from a very affiliate mindset where you put something together, you throw it out there, and you do reiterations.
Yeah.
This was the first time I actually had to be serious about having a business plan, about having a branding strategy. We worked on the branding, I think a year, just to come
Wow.
up with the perfect branding, or what we think is the perfect branding for an affiliate tracking software. So we investigated, like, we did so much like talking to affiliates and talking to networks and talking to advertisers and be like, okay, what do they have in common? What are the pain points? What do they need? What do they want? So it's been so much work behind the scenes, and there's still lots of work left to do. But today is like, for the first time, you see something out there. It's been so conceptual
Awesome.
for so long, coding and making it pretty and like all of this. I don't know about that, but yes, the brand book says this. And to actually, one, it forced me to think about a million things that I had never thought of. So you're not solving problems on the go, you're actually trying to pre-solve problems, that this is a new exercise for me. And it's been a super interesting ride. I also didn't know what I was getting myself into when I said yes, and then it was too late.
Yeah.
But I am excited. I am super excited.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. And I can imagine, I mean, just it's not easy thing. I mean, look at just to test everything, you have to even take care of all the hosting costs, uh, probably stress tests, and there are 1 million things which are going wrong with these kind of projects and stuff.
But the thing
So
is that we've been doing this for 10 years. We've had
yeah,
disasters happen throughout the years. So, yes, it's new, but the experience. So, yes, it's new, but at the same time, we have a decade of being like in the trenches.
yeah,
Like, we've had disasters, everything that you can think of. Like, my naive little face, I would set up deals and like, they're like, no, it's fine. I told him the cap was this. Yeah, guess what? They took the program down. Like, that's how much traffic they send. Or this happened, or that happened. And like, I had so much stuff happen to me. Usually, I tell people, like, yes, I know a lot, but it's from making more mistakes than anybody else has ever made. If there is any way to mess something up, I've done it. And I learned and I lived. So usually when I train new people, I'm just like, trust me. It's not because I'm the CEO. It's not because I'm your boss. Trust me because I already made every mistake you possibly can make in the next 10 years.
Oh, that's amazing as well, because then you know that it's going to happen, and sometimes people are going to push you. No, no, I want to try it. I want to try it, and then you let them try it, and
Oh,
it happens.
100%. But then when it happens, you're ready because you already solved it.
Yeah,
So you're ready there, like,
yeah,
okay, did you learn your lesson? Okay, this is how we're going to solve it. And next time we don't do it like this. I am a big
yeah,
fan of making mistakes. I think you have to learn.
yeah, and to grow,
Yeah.
to grow as well. Yeah. Okay. Now, next question. Like, there's so many trackers already there. What sets yours apart from everything else?
I think there is a lot of trackers. There is, I think the ones that are more advanced are for media buyers,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I think that the part that is for the media buyer is solid. Like I think those trackers are money. Me particularly, I've been a user for so long, right? I've been testing trackers, I've been talking to trackers for a long, long time. And I talk to everybody else that is either running an affiliate program or an affiliate network. And we're constantly like, oh, I wish I had this. Oh, I wish I had that. This tracker came from my own wish list of everything I wish did this, that, and whatever. So that is different. Also, a lot of trackers come out as a tracker and maybe eventually end up launching a marketplace for offers or whatever. This is the other way around. I came from being an affiliate manager, an advertiser, running an affiliate network, and only then I'm jumping into the tracking. But
Right.
I'm coming from not like, oh, I'm cool, I want to develop software. It's like, what do we need to do to make the business work? So it's like the other way around. I'm coming from the business needs, from the business wants, and then we make that into software. So we're already thinking of a lot of stuff that we develop ourselves to release
Like,
that
can
to
you
the
give any
public.
examples? Do you have any examples?
Okay, my cascade that I'm always talking about, my API cascade.
Hmm.
I want to release that to the world for people to
Wow.
be able, yes, I want to, like, there is all these things. A feature that we have that I really, really like, everyone has a smart link.
Hmm. Yeah.
And you're like, well, that's freaking great. Like, here's another smart link. It's like traffic goes into the universe. We have this feature where you make your own smart link. So you choose
Okay.
where everything goes. And then we have another one that is similar, but instead of choosing the geos and all of that, we have a feature. Let's say you have 14 landing pages. And let's make it less. Let's make it five
Hmm.
landing pages. And you always ask the affiliate manager, it's like, oh, what's the best converting one? Well, guess what? That might not be the best converting one for you. So we have a feature where you put all the landing pages, you put the weight, and then you tell the tracker to optimize based on the results with your traffic.
Right.
So you make a one link that you send all the traffic to, and you tell it every 24 hours, I want you to check my EPC and send most of the traffic to the one that is doing the best. But I want you to keep 10% of all the traffic constantly like randomized testing. And if in 24 hours another website and another lander is doing better, then switch the traffic there. So it's like
Right.
your own stuff. And it could be for one traffic source. So let's say you're buying 5 different traffic sources. There is the potential that not the best lander is not going to be the same for all of them. So you
Mm.
can create 5 of this and be like, okay, for this, it's like very specific. Just random stuff that goes through my head. But I'm like, wouldn't it be nice?
Right. Right. Okay. Whatever. Like, in the evening, maybe you're sitting somewhere, you came up with the idea. Okay, let's try it out. That's good. I mean, that's how amazing features come to play. That's how they build them. So is it more for, like, let's say, media buyers, or it's
No,
more
it's
about
for
networks?
networks. This is for networks. If you are an advertiser and you want to run your own affiliate program, this is for you. If you are a network and you need the software to run your business, this is for you. But I always want to keep the publisher in mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're a media buyer, but you don't have enough money to pay for a dedicated tracker to split the traffic. I want to be able to give you something that is like, it will get the job done as part of your affiliate networks program that you don't have to pay for. So it's offering
Right.
those little tools that will help you until you are making enough money on your own to be able to afford like more specialized tools.
Awesome. So, like, let's say within that network, there are going to be, like, if I build a smart link, I can add my offers first of all. And then if there are some offers which are not available with that network, I can add my custom links or
No, not
offers from other
necessarily.
networks.
No, but you can request those offers. You can be like, hey, I want to run this. I want to run that. Find it for me. And the network can go and find that offer for you.
Right. Okay. So there's that feature as well, where if you don't have something, you can request from the
Yeah,
network.
you can absolutely request it.
Awesome. Awesome. And how much of AI comes into play when it comes to
So a lot of
tracking?
like for tracking is tracking, right? Like it's more like
Hmm.
setting it up. But when it comes to calculating EPCs, predicting devices, all of that,
Yeah.
that's where, and we're using heavy AI because I think the biggest problem with using any tracker in general is the education part.
Hmm. Yeah.
And honestly, it is a big problem because it's annoying. Like you would need to have someone that is super good at using this software, literally just making content all day to teach the other people how to use it. So I believe that is like the biggest part that AI is going to play in this business,
Hmm.
particularly, is
Interesting.
teaching people how to use it. I think it's like such a big component. I'm a dreamer, right? So I'm
Yeah.
like, not only am I giving you the software long term, I want to teach you how to be an affiliate. You know, I want to go to South America and be like, hey guys, we're like 10 years behind, but listen up. This is how you can make money. I think
Nice.
like overall, like you have your own connection with your country, I have mine. And for
Yeah.
me, it would be amazing to help like economies in like
Of course.
underdeveloped countries come to like the rest of the world on affiliate marketing. Like it
Nice.
doesn't have to
Yeah.
be
That's
first world only.
Yeah. Exactly. I think it's coming to that point where now it's mostly like third world countries. I think like when I look at it now, most of the affiliates are coming from those countries. Hard to believe, but if you look at overall revenues wise and everything, they are producing way more revenue, in my opinion. Like from what I can see, as compared to first world countries now, those affiliates are doing some amazing work. Now, when it comes to APIs, do you guys have like your own API, and can that be
We have
used?
an API for stats, API into the software. But what I want to do is to build a system like I have for
Hmm.
myself, where you just put in the codes. I go and talk to everyone you want to connect to, and then you just put in your API codes, and someone non technical can take advantage of APIs.
That's nice. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I want to do. Like, I want to help people focus on what they do well, what they do really, really well.
yeah, yeah. So with APIs, what else you can do apart from reporting? Can those APIs be used with your smart links as well? For example, for maybe connected with some sort of optimizer or something like that.
That already exists. You could
Right.
potentially run it. We optimize internally. We have our own optimizer internally, so it runs all the stats. But honestly, till today, I have never asked like the development people for something and for
Hmm.
them to reply to be like, no, that's impossible. Like they
Yeah.
always have a solution for everything. So I am sure if we don't have it already, it's something that is doable. But for that specifically, for that question, it already optimizes internally. You already tell it,
Right.
you have all the parameters and you tell it. It's like, okay, I want you to optimize based on what's working for the whole network if you're an
Awesome.
affiliate. or I want you to optimize based on what's working for me. And you can do like A/B tests within that. And I think, if you don't have like dedicated tools, if you're just like a solo affiliate throwing traffic out there, someone needed to do this. Just like a helping hand before you get to the next level.
Yeah, definitely.
Because then it's like the chicken or the egg. You're never going to grow because you don't have the tools, but you don't have the tools because you're too small.
Yeah, and tools are super expensive now.
Expensive.
Especially for the newbies. It's not easy as well. So when it comes to like right now, your own affiliate network, is that running on your tracker right now?
Yes.
Yeah.
We were the guinea pigs. So yes,
Awesome.
I have been running for the last 4 years. We've done everything. We have this, and like I am so psyched about this. So your affiliate dashboard is like you can drop and like move everything around. Like I am heavy into graphs. I love a freaking graph. I want to go in and be like, oh, everything went sideways last night. And I want a graph to tell me. Or, life is good. I can chill. I can now look at the stats. But I like to go in and see a graph. But my business partner, he's all numbers. So what we did, and I think is like amazing, is all drag and drop. You make your dashboard whatever you want it to be, whatever works for you. So that made me very, very happy because I really, really wanted that in my life. But yes, we've been the guinea pigs for everything.
So, but that means like, the product is already tried, tested.
Oh, yeah.
And it works. So that's something really good. Now tell me a little bit about your network. What kind of offers or verticals are you guys focusing on?
So I grew up in online dating. That was my school. And I think the more I talk to people, the more I realize that everyone at some point has promoted online dating.
Most of the affiliates.
It's amazing.
Easy.
It's easy. And it's evergreen. Like every time when everyone started doing like app installs, I would lose all my traffic. When that collapsed, boom, they were all back. I was always like that high school girlfriend that you always like, oh, wouldn't it be nice? Like dating is like that. You always come back to dating because it's easy, it's reliable, and it's always there. So and it's super competitive. So it's always like ahead of like the curve when it comes to being creative and doing like creative deals and how to pay for stuff and how to optimize. So I think it was like a very good school for me. So that's how we started doing mainly dating. And then I used to live in Malta. So online gambling was like the next step because it was like, okay, if you don't do it, somebody else is going to do it. So we also promote casinos. And then I started going to like the clickbait events and started hanging out with all the people from like finance and lead gen and all of that. And I was like, that would be nice. And we ended up doing that. And now we have crypto. We do a little bit of everything because we're publishers ourselves. We run our own. That's the thing. The experience we have is from everything we do and we've ever done. So we run SEO sites, but we also run we're advertisers for other verticals and we're publishers for others, but pure network for, it depends. But it's like mix and match. I would say dating is still easily 70% of what we do. And everything else we dabble.
Right. And what sort of geos you target or you have?
I'm a true believer of making money anywhere possible.
Okay.
So if the offer doesn't exist, I will try to find someone to make it for me. I am that person. Be like, hey, like right now, like I'm like, oh, Mexico. I'm all about Mexico because Mexico is blowing up, but not for dating. Mexico is blowing up for lead gen. Mexico is blowing up for SMS, for like other things, right?
Wow. What sort of payouts are we talking about?
It's peanuts, but it's a lot of peanuts. So it compounds to a lot of money and it's super cheap traffic.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's the
That's the
thing.
thing.
I'm a huge believer on finding that happy little spot where traffic is so cheap. Like, I don't want to fight Apple for like Facebook
Yeah.
clicks. Like, I don't want to do that. That is not my game. So I try to find these little nuggets. I remember like in 2019, I made so much money in Turkey. Like
Uh,
I love finding these like random places that is like, oh, it's just like a little payout. I know, but there's a lot of people and
mm.
conversion is really easy and the peanuts end up amounting to the circus.
Yeah, because sometimes many affiliates they're just really stuck to certain countries as well. For example, like I personally started promoting insurance in the UK. I'm really stuck to just that market, and that happens a lot with a lot of people as well. So when you try to, like, let's say, break into a new country, how do you do it? How do you deal with it, especially with the affiliates who are just one man army? How what's your advice for them?
Oh,
How can they break into the new
now
market?
with AI, I wish I had AI. When I like 10 years ago, when I was young, I wish I had AI. Because now translations are a lot easier. Before translations used to be this like horrendous, like whoa, you could not because it was so expensive to translate. So unless you spoke the language, it was almost impossible to go to another country. But translations are getting super good. Content generation is getting really good, all with AI. It like honestly, I would say find a good offer, something that interests you, and then be like, okay, I can promote this. Or sometimes it's the other way around. You're looking at your stats and you're like, okay, I have a gazillion clicks from Brazil and I have nothing in Brazil. All right, go to your network and find a Brazilian offer. Talk to your account manager, be like, find me something to promote in Brazil. This is what networks do. You go and find the advertiser, you see what's converting in that country, and then find that for your affiliate. This is like one of the biggest things because you're always like, oh, as an affiliate, I want to work directly with the advertiser.
Yep.
And that's all good if you're really good at what you do and you only want to do that for the rest of your life and you want to work with that advertiser and pray to God that that advertiser doesn't have IP delivery issues, that like anything messes up on their flow because it will affect your revenue.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, the commissions are like, okay, the advertiser is the one paying the commission to the network, but also the network works for you. It is the network's job to help your life be easier. They're the ones getting all the IOs. They're the ones doing all the banking. They're the ones fetching those offers that you need. And I think a lot of people still don't understand that. Like the network
Hmm.
works for you. It's a service. They add value. And
Fantastic.
ideally, you will be able to focus on what you're good at or whatever new project. And you can just talk to your affiliate manager and be like, hey, what's weird? What's weird? I'm working. And you're like, oh,
Hmm.
you know what? Lately, I've seen like Chile ramping up. I've seen Mexico ramping up. Unless you're talking to someone that is talking to a lot of other people from a lot of other verticals, how will you know?
Interesting. And now let's say these low payout offers. How do you buy traffic? Like media buying costs are a bit too high.
Not
So
in
how
those
do you manage
geos.
that? So what traffic sources do you use?
Um, in Mexico specifically, like SMS does well. And usually then is the cost of sending the SMS. But I also, like, if you're a good network, you go to conferences, you talk to people. So you're like,
Hmm.
oh, I know in this country I have a provider that can get you a better price for like volume and whatever.
Yeah.
So it's not only like how you're gonna make money sending me traffic, is also if I have the means to introduce you to someone that can help you with your setup so that you can send me traffic, I I believe that it costs nothing. So
Yeah.
I try to look at that. It's like, okay, what are your costs? How can they be better? Like if someone is charging, let's say, I've seen people trying to charge for a software solution per click. And I'm like, okay, that's awesome. That's all fun and games until you go to like lower tier countries because your cost is already eating my profit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's pretty much like that. A lot of those, like anything that is not tier one English speaking and like Europe. Pretty much anything outside of that, that is not Australia, is cheaper.
Right. Okay. But here's another question: like, where do these affiliates, like, let's say, get phone numbers now? When you like, you need phone
Sweeps.
numbers to
I
send
feel
SMS.
like sweeps is where all phone numbers are coming from. A lot of people are getting them from dating. If you have a dating
Hmm.
pre-lander, do not ask me why, because this is beyond me, and this is always worked like that. Usually the email is mandatory, but you leave the phone number as a
Yeah.
optional. And you will be surprised the amount of people that really want to give their phone number away. So a lot of people collect them with dating. A lot of people collect them with sweeps. It pretty much depends. Like that's always a good idea. If you have a pre-lander for summon, just drop it in there. Maybe put
Right.
your phone number if you want to. We can be in touch with you. Put it on your terms and conditions that they might be marketed or other things. And guess what? Now you have a second source of it, like income.
Right. That's really smart and different from what usually affiliates do. Like, in their pre-letters, they don't collect anything, no email, no phone number or whatever. So what you're saying is you first collect all that information and then send users to the offer.
Because, okay, this is the dating mentality, right? Dating used to be super easy. Acquisition cost got super high and the competition is fierce. So even advertisers understood that they were never going to be profitable on the traffic.
Mm.
So what it is like, okay, I'm not going to be profitable on the traffic. How do I create my profit? Okay, now I'm going to have a push notification. I'm going to have the box for the phone. I'm going to do email marketing. I'm going to do all these other things that can compound to profit. As an affiliate, maybe media buying is really expensive, but if you start, atomic habits, compounding percentages, if you get 1% here and 2% there, maybe 10% here, guess what? You just found a bunch of revenue that you didn't have before. So what you have to be doing all the time is making sure that the conversion rate that you're losing by having these extra things is less than what you're gaining with these additional sources of income.
Amazing. That's really smart, actually. A
See,
really
it's
smart thing
not
to
just for
do.
the hair.
Yeah. Yeah. What happened to dating vertical overall? If you look at it, there, like, I don't see new offers or anything like that, or the payouts, even in tier one.
Yes.
That's like, something happened in last couple of years. What's going on
Well,
in the vertical?
companies, I remember, yeah, like 10 years ago, payouts for like Match.com and like those big companies were insane. They were paying sometimes, depending on the country, like 20 some dollars a lead for a double
Yeah.
opt-in. And life was beautiful. I have friends that build beautiful empires based on those payouts. Eventually, those companies got made a lot of money
Mm,
and started, they came to the conclusion that they didn't need affiliates anymore. So they got
right.
big budgets for media buying, big budgets for everything else, for SEO, for whatever, because eventually they just decided to stop paying affiliates. And a lot of them have very few affiliate programs running. And those are like friends and family, like legacy deals. What you see more right now with dating, like new offers and stuff, it's more casual offers.
Mm.
And I think with AI, oh, this is going to blow up. I'm just waiting to see who is the first person that will make a proper virtual girlfriend. Because that, I promise
That's
you, that will be the killer offer in a year or two. People are lonely. Everyone is
yeah.
lonely. Social media has us like more lonely than ever. And I think a lot of people will go for that. And I think that's going to be the evolution of dating. Maybe a little bit of coaching, maybe a little bit of like ego massaging, a little bit of entertainment, but there will be a virtual girlfriend. 100%.
That's something coming up anyways. Okay, now let's move on to iGaming. Like I can see that's really booming. What's your experience?
Okay, it's a super interesting vertical because it was like the Wild West, right? Like
Yeah.
15 years ago, 10 years ago, it was the Wild West. Nobody wanted to touch gaming. It was like hush hush. And now it's a lot more mainstream. Like a lot of people are like, oh, you see gambling sites and like sporting
Yeah.
teams, like all of this. So it's become, even though it's way more regulated now, every country started doing their own laws, their own license. Before you had like two licenses that were the Wild West. You had a Malta license and a Costa Rica license. And with that, you could operate anywhere that didn't have a local license. What happened? The countries were like, oh, well, this money's being made online. I need to protect my users, AKA, I need to make money from this.
Mhm.
So more and more it got heavily regulated. Every country started launching their own licensing and whatever, but also that has helped make it feel more safe. It's more protected. The government is involved. So I think it is a challenging time for iGaming companies because they're like the fines that they're getting are insane, but also they're making fantastic money. So it's
Yeah,
getting
like
more
if you look,
professional. It's getting more professional. That's what I
yeah,
see.
but if you look at like overall within affiliate verticals, one of the vertical which stand out is iGaming, and it's massive, and you can see there's tons of money. Now, one more lead generation, like that's really booming as well. And how do you see like how long that will last?
I feel like lead gen. Okay, so lead gen, I feel like there was a before and after. There was like 2 3 years ago, everyone was doing insurance, everyone was doing everything, but with like your own flows on Google, whatever. And now is the age of the paper call, right?
Hmm.
Now everyone is promoting phone numbers. That was a big change. Before, everyone was promoting their own flows, their own like your form, you collect online, whatever, whatever. Now everyone is promoting phone numbers, offers with phone numbers. So I think that has been a huge change in the lead gen part of things. Depends on the country. I'm talking US. We do a lot of finance in Spain and Latam because of course we speak Spanish. It's easy. It's our people. And that still works with SEO sites. I need a credit. You fill out your information. That goes on API to one of the buyers, and then they call the person, whatever, whatever. I think that still has a minute. Like that was keep going for a while. Unless there is more regulation by the government, that could be a possibility. But even then, you might have to apply for a certification or something like that, but it's not going away as a vertical. It might get more expensive, and when it gets more difficult and more expensive, only a few survive, but money still being made.
Yeah, that's true. And in that case, there's more money as well. Like even if you talk about UK, previously, like 2 years ago, it was free for all. Anybody could promote anything. Now, since like last 2 3 years, you need a license to be able to, run all these campaigns. And one of the things is like not every affiliate can do it. So
Or is
there's a
willing to do it.
really
A lot of people are not
yeah,
willing to do it.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Process is simple, but not many people want to do it or are willing to do it. And then it leaves a small number of people who can actually do it. And then you see a massive demand from buyers, and that really lifts everything up. You see higher caps, higher payouts, and stuff like that.
It's a
So
game
the ones who
changer.
yeah, for those who survive, for them, it's really good. And I think that, like personally, I have seen is it's changed a little as well. Like now, it's gone from affiliate networks more towards affiliates using API and sending leads through
Yes.
API.
A lot of people have gotten into the API game because it makes sense. You're not wasting your
Yeah,
click. You're only sending it to the advertiser that says, yes, I do want that lead. I'm willing to pay you this much for that lead. Then you're in
yeah,
control. And that part of control increases your EPC. It just makes sense. Like the time of
Yeah.
like send traffic and I hope you convert it. That time is long gone.
Yeah, that time when I could make as my landing pages as difficult as I want, or whatever, and they were, I don't care like if it converts or not. It's affiliate sending traffic. Those days are gone, definitely. Any new verticals you think which are going to be really big in 2025?
Not necessarily. Well, ecom is
Hmm.
humongous. And I think it's going to be the rise of the affiliate that doesn't know it's an affiliate.
That's
So,
interesting.
well, yeah, all these influencers, like they don't know how like affiliate marketing works. But guess what? You're an affiliate. Like
Yeah.
it works different. It's different tracking. But I think that is the biggest change that is coming. Like affiliate, being affiliate for the masses. Anyone can be an affiliate.
Interesting.
Well, look at TikTok. Like it's become this amazing ecom platform, and absolutely anyone can be a creator on TikTok. If you create and you promote a product, guess what? You're an affiliate.
That's true. That's true. It's just the industry is evolving in a different way, but still, yeah, it is. And I have one question. Like, you guys do media buying as well, and then you run a network as well. And sometimes, affiliates have this concern. Like, I don't know, these guys are running paid campaigns. Maybe they'll be able to see my traffic or whatever. How do you answer that kind of question? Like,
So we don't media buy. Let's say for dating, we don't media buy.
mm,
Straight up, we don't media buy because we don't want to compete with our guys, and we know it's brutal to buy for dating.
mm,
We buy for crypto,
mm-hmm,
and we're like, what we do on the media buying, it literally is to improve what we give to affiliates. But the actual
right,
profit is on the affiliate side.
right,
But it's
okay.
to optimize our own sites, to optimize the flows, to optimize all of that. But honestly, the profit is like not worth it.
So more like, if you look at it, it's done so you can improve your funnels, you can
100%.
optimize them better, right? Okay.
Because either I
But
do that or I use your traffic to optimize my funnel.
hmm,
Which
that's
a lot of affiliates might be like, you know what, you spend your money, you optimize it, then give it to me.
that's so true. That's so true. So it is important, I guess, to kind of like being aware of what are the issues, what are the bottlenecks, and how to work that out. But that's really actually smart.
And performance for different sources. Because if I'm optimizing with your traffic, you change your sources, I think there was something wrong with my site. I make a change and now we're all bad. If I
Hmm.
have the same sources and I see changes in the performance, then I have control of the full funnel, right? That's the biggest
Yeah.
difference. If I'm optimizing based on affiliate traffic, I don't know where the traffic is coming from, right? I don't
Yeah.
know what changes you made on your side.
Hmm.
But on my side,
Interesting.
if I'm media buying, I know the changes I made. And if I see big improvements or big drop offs, I have control of the variables. So I think when you're starting a flow and trying to optimize it, you have to have control of the traffic as well. So usually, if we launch a new product, if we launch a new lander, before we release it, we media buy. Because
Right.
if we're
Right.
gonna like, if it's gonna go sideways, I would rather go sideways with my money.
Mm. That's actually smart as well, and it helps affiliates as well. Like, for example, if someone's looking for something which is working, they don't have to spend their own money and find out. Yeah, they can reach out to you guys and ask like what's working and what can I promote.
And I can tell you, it's like, okay, I tried this with this and it performed like this. Like, I always trust that my affiliates are a million times better at media buying than we are because we're not media buyers. This is
Right.
not who we are as a company. We believe in building technical solutions to help our affiliates. But from day one, it was never our intention to be like, oh, we're going to be the best media buyers. That's a lie
Mm.
because that's not our strength. We're good at relationships. We're good at tech. We're good at making connections. Guess what? Stay in your lane. I'm good at that. I don't need to be like going everywhere else. I do the media buying for specific reasons, but I promise you that's never going to be my bread and butter because that's
Mm.
just not who I am.
Right. Okay. Interesting. That's really good. Okay. Now, I think we're almost at time now. So at the end, just one question. Like, honestly, I didn't realize like it's been almost an hour talking to you.
But it's a good conversation.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It is. Like, if someone wants to start affiliate marketing today, what would be your advice for them? What they should be doing? Should they be maybe media buying? Should they start with organic? What should they promote? Or what would you do if you had to start from scratch
From
today?
scratch. I would find something that wouldn't get boring after a while of not making money.
Mm,
So something that
that's
I'm
interesting.
passionate about. If I were to start tomorrow, I would probably do like a travel blog, right? Because I like traveling. I like food. I like new places. I like new people. So that's something I can look into and won't get bored. But if I were to start trying to media buy for fashion, that is going to
Hmm.
go sideways. I'm going to like want to throw myself out the window.
Yeah,
Because when you're
you're
making
gonna get.
money, life is great. But what happens until you start making money? So whatever it is, if you want a media buy, if you want to do the organic, whatever, if you want to start creating content, whatever it is, make sure it's something that you are passionate about and won't get boring with all the repetitive actions that it takes to actually get to a point where you're making a profit. That would be
Yeah,
my advice.
I guess you get discouraged as well with the results, and you have to fail again.
Yeah.
What you started with, you have to make mistakes and learn from those mistakes and grow out of them.
But it's much easier to make mistakes at something that you love.
Yeah,
Because naturally, you're going to be like, oh, this person is doing that. Let me see what it is and why and whatever. Let me try this. Let me try that. You will be a lot more inclined to do all the experimenting necessary to break a profit.
awesome. Yeah,
I think.
that really makes sense. All right. Okay, so I think we are almost at the end now. Let's. Yeah. So, what's the next event you are going to be at?
My next one is Icon in
Icon.
Cyprus. And I'm excited because it's the first event for Trackfinity. And I am holding a tracking masterclass. So I'm
Wow.
actually teaching people because, of course, my vast experience making mistakes and seeing others make mistakes. I'm going to have a masterclass of like, hey, these are the things that are very likely going to happen to you because they happen to everyone. So it's going over the most common mistakes when using trackers and just trying to add value, trying to help people at least maybe not avoid the mistake, but when you make it, you're like, I know what it was and how to fix it.
Awesome. Awesome. Let's hope our podcast gets published before you make it.
But if not, then after that, I will be in New York. And after that, I will be in Budapest.
Yeah, so how do you manage with all this traveling? Like personally, I take two, three flights, and then I'm like, okay, I'm done. And looking at you, you're always flying. How do you manage all of that?
Okay, so for us in the company, it's like this affiliate mentality. Everyone focus on what you're good at and what makes you happy.
Hmm.
I like traveling. I enjoy traveling.
Right.
And I enjoy talking to people and all of that. So is it tiring? Absolutely. Is it amazing every single time? No way. Like everything, right?
Yeah.
So, but I enjoy it, traveling. Out of everyone in the company, I enjoy it the most. But that doesn't mean
Right.
that it doesn't suck at times. Like, and it's a numbers game, right? The more you travel, the more weird stuff happens to you. Like, lost luggage for me is like, it's a Tuesday. At this point, I just flow. I'm like, okay, I know the policies of every airline. I know where to go, what to do, whatever. I always have like a mental list of like, okay, if everything goes sideways, this is what I need to do. Like, I usually have like my credit cards and my business cards on me. Everything else I can flow. um, but yeah, I enjoy it, and my business partners don't enjoy it as much as I do, and they enjoy more operational stuff or more technical stuff that will probably drive me insane. So we all
Right.
try to focus on what we're good at, or at least what doesn't make us super depressed.
Yeah.
So kind of
Yeah.
like the
And I
same
guess,
affiliate
again,
mentality.
it's same thing, like, do what you love, and then it doesn't really feel like it's work or whatever. But
No, and you've
yeah.
seen me at conferences. For me, it's like summer camp, and I show up and like I see all my friends, and I get like a super good energy. I talk to people, then you brainstorm, you try to help them in what they're doing, they try to help you what you're doing, and then you come back and
True.
you're so inspired. You come back and you're like, yes, I'm going to make some money.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, it's almost time now. So thank you very much. It was really lovely talking to you, Jenny. And I hope we'll have more
Oh,
episodes,
thank you so
maybe in
much.
person as well. I'd love to do that. Yeah.
Yes,
And it's
please.
always, yeah, lovely to talk to you. And the funny thing is, like, we've been talking online for so long, and the first person to meet you was my wife before me.
I know. And it was love at first sight. Then for me, you always will be the husband of.
But
But
it
it's
is, it
fantastic.
is,
It's a
and
beautiful
it's because
industry.
of lovely people like you. So thank you very much for your time. Thank you,
And
and it
like
was
you.
lovely talking to you. And we'll see you next time. Bye bye.